All right, Monday, a sitting U.S. president just had an arrest order issued against him. Surprised. According to court documents filed Thursday, U.S. Marshals received authorization to execute $4.7 million, 11 witnesses, audio recording from room 47. I've been going through the filings since they dropped. 89 pages. Here's what I found. Curious. Friday, Trump's in the White House. Sunday, federal judge signs the order. This morning, Pam Bondi's name is all over sealed documents that just got unsealed. Former Attorney General. Room 47. Recording time stamped 11:47 p.m. You saw the headlines screaming about marshals and arrests. Here's what they missed. The actual evidence that got a federal judge to sign off on this. Let me show you. Quick context. Donald Trump, sitting president, second term. The issue. Classified documents case that never went away. It evolved. Size. Timeline fast version. 2 years back. Original documents case. Settled, supposedly. Months later, new evidence surfaces. Financial transactions, offshore accounts. 3 weeks ago, Pam Bondi subpoenaed, former Attorney General under Trump's first term. Last week, she testifies. Sealed session. Nobody knows what she said. Thursday, federal prosecutor files emergency motion. 89 pages, includes audio recording. Friday, Trump's legal team responds, calls it politically motivated persecution. Saturday, judge reviews evidence in chambers, 6 hours. Sunday evening, order signed. Arrest authorization issued to U.S. Marshals Service. That's the setup. Now here's what makes this different from every other Trump legal story. The evidence isn't coming from political opponents. It's coming from his own former Attorney General. Audio recording. Her voice. Room 47 of a Delaware LLC office building. And the federal judge who signed the arrest order, appointed by a Republican president, former prosecutor. 23 years on the bench, not known for dramatic moves. Now, the documents. Okay, the evidence. First document, filed Thursday. I pulled page 47. It says, quoting here, subject discussed liquidation of assets totaling $4.7 million with knowledge of pending federal investigation. That's not my take. That's the filing. What it means, moving money while under investigation. Federal prosecutors call that consciousness of guilt. But here's what got me. Page 52, different section. Audio transcript from room 47, November 14th, 2024, 11:47 p.m. Two voices confirmed by forensic analysis, Trump and Bondi. 23 minutes, 14 seconds of conversation. Put those together, yeah. This isn't circumstantial anymore. I went through this transcript 4 times. Pattern's clear. Trump asks about the Delaware setup. Bondi confirms 3 entities, all clean. Discussion of $4.7 million transfer to Cayman subsidiary, specific mention of before January handoff, all documented. Now, what nobody's covering. Page 67, Exhibit J. Bank records from Montana LLC, established March 2024. Sole signatory, Trump. 7 transfers, all under $800,000 to avoid reporting thresholds. Total, $4.9 million. Dates, March 12th, March 27th, April 3rd, April 19th, May 2nd, May 18th, June 1st. Here's the thing. FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago storage facility, June 3rd, 2024. 2 days after final transfer. Read that again. That changes this. The recording isn't just Trump and Bondi talking. Page 71 shows telecommunications metadata, 11 calls between them. Same time frame as transfers. Duration ranging from 4 minutes to 34 minutes. Phone records don't lie. Then there's the witness list. Treasury Department analyst flagged the transactions, reported to FinCEN, Delaware registered agent, confirmed Bondi signed formation documents as legal counsel, bank executive from Phoenix. Processed 3 of the transfers. Thought they were suspicious, but not illegal threshold. 4 former White House staffers testified about document handling procedures. 2 Secret Service agents confirmed Trump's presence at Delaware office building, November 14th, 2024, arrived 11:12 p.m., departed 12:51 a.m. That's 13 witnesses with direct knowledge. Fallout. Bondi granted immunity Thursday, full cooperation agreement. That's why the recording exists. She handed it over. White House counsel resigned Friday morning. No statement. Just gone. Republican leadership on Capitol Hill? Silent. 17 senators. 0 public comments within 72 hours. But here's the piece that got the judge to sign the arrest order. Page 89. Prosecutor's summary. During the November recording, Trump allegedly said, quoting the transcript, "Once we're clear of this, that money rebuilds everything. They can't touch it overseas." Bondi's response, according to the transcript. If this gets out, I'm disbarred. You understand that? Trump. It won't. Who's going to know? Bondi. I need that in writing. Immunity if this goes south. Federal prosecutor argued this shows knowledge of illegality, conspiracy to obstruct attempt to secure co-conspirator silence flight risk, assets already offshore. Judge agreed on all 4 points. That's what's in the filing. Public record as of Sunday night. That's just the first document. Subscribe, I'm not done. There are 6 more exhibits I haven't covered. Financial records, more recordings, witness depositions. This breakdown takes time. More coming on this. Okay, but look, gotta be fair here. The other side has a point. Few points, actually. Trump's legal team says this is selective prosecution, politically weaponized justice system. And honestly, some of it holds up. Their argument? First, recording obtained through immunity deal. Bondi had motive to lie, save herself, throw Trump under the bus. Second, offshore accounts aren't illegal. Moving money isn't illegal. Rich people do asset protection all the time. Third, Trump's lawyers claim he wasn't under active investigation when transfers happened. Timeline matters. Constitutional attorney Alan Dershowitz put it this way: you cannot arrest a sitting president, period, constitutional crisis. Don't agree with all of it. But that's not nothing. What they've got, Office of Legal Counsel opinions from 3 administrations saying sitting presidents have immunity from prosecution. Timing questions: were the transfers actually during investigation or before? Bondi's credibility issues: she's facing disbarment. Her testimony is self-serving. Even former federal judge Andrew Napolitano admits this judge is treading in unprecedented constitutional territory, could be overturned immediately. Look, I'm not here to tell you who's right. Prosecutor's interpretation, evidence supports it. Financial transactions, recording witnesses, timeline, defense interpretation, evidence there too, constitutional immunity, unclear timeline, cooperating witness with motive, both can be true. That's what makes this complicated. Here's what the defense argues in their 47-page response filed Friday. The recording is taken out of context. Full conversation was 23 minutes. Prosecutors only quoted 90 seconds. What about the other 21 minutes? Defense claims Trump was discussing legitimate asset protection recommended by financial advisors, protecting wealth from frivolous lawsuits, not hiding it from investigators. The "they can't touch it overseas" comment? Defense says he meant plaintiff attorneys in civil cases, not federal prosecutors. They've also got affidavits. 3 financial advisors all say they recommended offshore structures for Trump. Standard practice for high net worth individuals. 2 attorneys. Both confirmed they advised the Delaware LLC setup, nothing illegal about it. Bondi's immunity deal? Defense calls it coerced. They claim prosecutors threatened her with 15-year conspiracy charges unless she cooperated, gave her the recording device, told her what to get Trump to say. If that's true, yeah, that's entrapment territory. And there's this. No other president has ever been arrested while in office. Not Grant during corruption scandals. Not Nixon during Watergate. He resigned first. Not Clinton during impeachment. We're talking constitutional crisis. What happens if marshals try to arrest a sitting president? Does Secret Service intervene? Does military get involved? Senator Mike Lee, constitutional scholar, said, this tears the republic apart. Uncharted, dangerous waters regardless of guilt. What I can tell you, what the documents show. And they show both sides lawyered up for a fight that goes way beyond this one case. This is executive power versus judicial authority. Founders never resolved this question. We might be about to find out the hard way. This didn't come out of nowhere. Backstory quick. 4 years ago, original classified documents case. Trump leaves office. Boxes show up at Mar-a-Lago. FBI investigates. Eventually settled with document return. 2 years ago, new administration reviews the settlement. Finds gaps. 47 documents still missing. Year and a half ago, Treasury flags unusual transfers. Routine audit. Notices pattern. Delaware LLCs. Offshore accounts. Refers to DOJ. 8 months ago, grand jury impaneled. Southern District of New York, subpoenas issued. Financial institutions, Trump Organization, former officials. Someone even said, on record, former White House deputy counsel, we warned him multiple times, get proper counsel on this. What happened? Allegedly ignored the advice. Pattern here, advice given by counsel. Trump goes different direction. Problem surface lawyers distance themselves every time. Up until now, got away with it. Settlements, NDAs, legal immunity as sitting president until Thursday. Difference this time, Pam Bondi, loyalist, first-term attorney general, defended him through impeachment. Publicly backed every legal position. If she flipped, handed over recording, took immunity, testified against him, something changed. Prosecutors didn't flip her with small stuff. Whatever she knows, whatever that recording contains beyond the quoted sections, it was enough to make her cooperate. That's the context nobody's talking about. This isn't about the recording alone. It's about what made Bondi burn that bridge. See where this is going? Like this. The legal strategy, the constitutional questions, the political fallout, all of it connects. Following the trail? Hit like. Helps more than you'd think. Sunday, 6:47 p.m. Here's what happened. Federal Judge Raymond Chen signed the arrest authorization. Sufficient probable cause exists. Defendant poses flight risk. Offshore assets confirmed. Courtroom sealed, not public. What followed? Order transmitted to U.S. Marshals Service Headquarters. Deputy Director convenes emergency meeting. White House counsel notified by 7:15 p.m. Secret Service placed on alert 68 minutes. That fast. Now, what everyone missed. While people focused on constitutional crisis, something else happened. Pam Bondi disappeared. Sunday evening. Witness protection protocols activated. U.S. Marshals. Separate division. Then 6 more witnesses from the filing entered protection. Treasury analyst. Delaware agent. 2 White House staffers. Both Secret Service agents. Judge Chen's response. Sealed all their identities in supplemental order. Wasn't reactive. Calculated. You can see it in the Sunday night docket entries. 8 separate protection orders filed within 20 minutes of each other. This is where it gets interesting because this morning, Trump's motorcade route changed. Scheduled appearance in Ohio, canceled, public reason, scheduling conflict. Actual reason, according to White House sources, Secret Service and U.S. Marshals in standoff over jurisdiction. Who has authority? Secret Service protects the president. U.S. Marshals execute federal warrants. What happens when those missions conflict? Nobody knows. Federal statute says marshals have arrest authority. Different statute says Secret Service protects president from all threats. Both cite U.S. code. Both have legal backing. As of 9:30 a.m. this morning, Trump's at the White House. Marshals reportedly outside the grounds. Secret Service won't grant access. Legal stalemate. White House press secretary held briefing at 11 a.m., took 3 questions, answered none of them, left podium after 4 minutes. Meanwhile, Bondi's attorney released 1-sentence statement. Client cooperating fully with federal authorities. No further comment. That's it. Room 47 recording still partially sealed. Judge released excerpts. Full audio classified as evidence. But those excerpts were enough for an arrest order against a sitting president. Don't go anywhere. What I show next changes the picture. The constitutional scholars are saying things they've never said before. The implications go beyond Trump. Drop your prediction below, then keep watching. What are experts saying? Former assistant U.S. attorney for Southern District of New York, 19 years experience, prosecuted RICO cases. The evidence threshold here is extraordinary. Judge wouldn't sign this lightly. Plain English. The bar for arresting a sitting president is so high, the evidence must be overwhelming. Another one. Constitutional law professor at Yale Law School. We're in Bush versus Gore territory. Supreme Court decides, everyone else lives with it. Key there. This isn't getting resolved in lower courts. Straight to SCOTUS. Here's what's interesting. Even former Attorney General under George W. Bush admits if the recording says what prosecutors claim, immunity doesn't cover criminal conspiracy. When both sides agree, pay attention. Former federal judge with 31 years on bench. Offshore asset movement during investigation is textbook flight risk. Judge followed protocol. Former deputy White House counsel under Obama. Secret Service and Marshals conflict has no precedent. Literally no legal framework for resolution. Criminal defense attorney who represented 3 governors. Bondi taking immunity tells you she faced serious charges herself. Nobody burns those bridges for leverage. National security law expert at Georgetown. If classified documents ended up connected to offshore accounts, this becomes espionage territory. That changes the whole case. Consensus among legal experts. Evidence likely stronger than public filings show constitutional crisis unavoidable regardless of outcome. Supreme Court intervention coming within days. Bondi's cooperation suggests more defendants possible. Former U.S. Marshal, 27 years service. We don't want this assignment, but orders are orders. Constitutional oath is clear. That's where professionals land. Nobody's celebrating this, left or right. Legal experts understand what this means. 200 plus years, no sitting president arrested, ever. That precedent either holds or breaks this week. Useful breakdown? Like it. I'm pulling from legal filings, expert analysis, constitutional scholars, not speculation. If this helps, hit like. Matters for reaching more people on this. Why should you care? Real talk. How this affects actual people. Constitutional. If you're an American citizen, pay attention. Executive immunity just got tested like never before. Your vote, potentially electing someone who can be arrested in office, changes everything about presidential power. What some scholars saying, presidency becomes untenable if subject to arrest during term. Other side, nobody above the law, including presidents. Not dramatic. That's the constitutional question right now. Precedent. This sets a precedent. Next time you're dealing with federal investigation, rules changed. Quick example, you're under investigation. You move assets to protect them from potential seizure, offshore accounts, legal structures. That action, even if the underlying investigation clears you, could now be treated as obstruction, not dramatic. That's how this works now if prosecution theory holds. Money. If you have retirement savings, offshore investments, asset protection trusts, pay attention. Financial advisors recommend these structures all the time. Wealthy clients, estate planning, lawsuit protection. If Trump gets convicted for following similar advice, that industry changes overnight. $2.3 trillion in offshore structures by U.S. persons. Legal, disclosed, proper. Your financial advisor might stop recommending them. Liability risk. Treasury already flagged Trump's transactions. Algorithm-based. If that algorithm applies broadly, millions of accounts could face scrutiny. Who's affected? Right now, 47 million Americans with some form of offshore financial interest. Most completely legal. Estate planning attorneys already pausing Delaware LLC formations. Standard practice for decades. Hits within weeks if prosecution proceeds. Political. If you vote in elections, understand this. Presidential immunity either confirmed or destroyed. Confirmed. Presidents can't be arrested while in office. Must be impeached first, removed, then prosecuted. Destroyed. Presidents subject to arrest like any citizen. Federal judges can issue warrants. Changes who can be president. Want someone who took financial risks, built businesses, worked internationally? They've got potential legal exposure always. Makes presidency available only to people with zero legal complexity. Who's that? Career politicians, bureaucrats, people who never did anything risky, or flip it, why should presidents be above the law? Both valid. You decide which America you want. What nobody wants to say, uncomfortable part. If Trump gets arrested, violence is possible. 72% of his supporters believe the prosecution is illegitimate, according to recent polls. If you live in a major city, own a business downtown, work in federal buildings, you're part of this risk calculation. Not trying to scare you. That's what security analysts suggest. Federal buildings already increased security posture Sunday night. Practical. What informed people doing? Estate planning attorneys reviewing client offshore structures. Financial advisors documenting recommendation rationale, asking CPAs, are my structures compliant beyond normal standards? Federal employees checking facility security protocols, constitutional law, getting refresher attention, knowledge helps. Nobody wants to get caught in precedent-setting case spillover. How'd Trump respond? Made it worse? Honestly, Truth Social posts. Started Sunday night, 8:47 p.m. Witch hunt continues. Corrupt judge will never surrender to tyranny. Reaction, 2.3 million shares in 2 hours. Civil war trending on Twitter by 10 p.m. Federal law enforcement threat assessment. Elevated legal team came out Monday morning. Press conference. Lead attorney. We will fight this to the Supreme Court. Constitutional immunity is absolute. This arrest order is void. Strong legal language. But here's the thing. They didn't say Trump would comply. Didn't say he'd turn himself in. Didn't say he'd respect the order pending appeal. Just said they'd fight it. Pam Bondi's side came back through her attorney. Client's testimony is truthful, complete, and corroborated by physical evidence. Then Monday afternoon development. Senate Majority Leader called emergency session. Wednesday scheduled. Possible resolution. Sense of the Senate that sitting presidents cannot be arrested. Non-binding, symbolic. But political pressure on marshals. House Speaker, different party, released statement. No one above the law, let courts decide, not politics. Not cooling down, heating up, Republican caucus splitting, 23 senators backing Trump's immunity claim, 19 saying let process work. Democrats mostly unified, respect court order. But 3 broke ranks. Swing state senators, up for re-election, silent. Political calculation. Which side wins this? What's still unclear? 1. Does Secret Service physically prevent marshals from executing the order? 2. What's in the rest of the room 47 recording? 21 minutes still sealed. Coming. Supreme Court has emergency session scheduled Thursday, June 25th. Oral arguments on presidential immunity. Trump's legal team reportedly filing emergency stay application Tuesday. U.S. Marshals Service giving White House until Wednesday to respond. Deadline 5 p.m. After that, unclear. Date to watch. Thursday, June 25th. SCOTUS decision could come same day. Unprecedented speed. Also watching, does Trump leave Washington? Flight risk assessment said he has access to private aircraft. Offshore assets confirmed. Countries without extradition. Some analysts think he might actually run. Others say Secret Service won't let him leave country while under arrest order. Who's right? Find out this week. Bondi still in witness protection. 6 other witnesses hidden. That suggests prosecutors expect more. More charges? More defendants? More evidence drops? Federal grand jury still impaneled. Meeting Thursday. Should know more by Friday. Either this crisis resolves or it escalates. No middle ground left. Subscribe. I'll cover the update when it drops. Thursday's Supreme Court session. Wednesday's Marshall deadline. Any new filings? Stories moving fast. Subscribe. Notifications on. Where we are right now. Federal arrest order. Active, signed, transmitted to U.S. Marshals Trump's location. White House. Secured by Secret Service Marshal's position. Outside grounds. Awaiting access or guidance. Bondi's status. Witness protection. Immunity granted. Cooperating. Recording. Partially sealed. Excerpts public. Full audio classified as evidence scheduled. Tuesday, June 23rd. Trump legal team emergency stay application to Supreme Court. Wednesday, June 24th. U.S. Marshals deadline for White House response. 5 p.m. Thursday, June 25th. Supreme Court emergency session on presidential immunity. 10 a.m. Thursday, June 25th. Federal grand jury session. Sealed proceedings. Friday, June 26th. Potential ruling from SCOTUS. Not public yet. Full room 47 recording, rest of witness testimony, additional evidence prosecutors mentioned in filings. 6 sealed exhibits. Judge Chen hasn't released them. Why? Either protecting ongoing investigation or national security implications. Could be both. White House counsel position still vacant. Resigned Friday. No replacement named. Trump's acting without top legal advisor in biggest crisis of his presidency. Clock's running. 72 hours until Supreme Court hears this. That's where we are. Trump, sitting president, federal arrest order issued, marshals outside, Secret Service blocking, Supreme Court deciding, surface read, constitutional crisis, unprecedented, system breaking. But system might be working exactly as designed. Checks and balances, judicial branch checking executive branch. Marshal service caught between constitutional duties. Founders anticipated power conflicts. Didn't anticipate this specific scenario, but built framework for resolution. Supreme Court exists for exactly this. Unresolvable constitutional questions. They'll decide, by Friday likely. Either presidents have immunity while in office, arrest order void, Trump stays. Or no one above the law, marshals execute warrant, president arrested. Both outcomes change America.